Sometimes I think how we're all so spoiled by modern movie productions. The ability to show basically anything on the screen means there's no limit to the possibilities for a story, though this has come at a bit of a cost. Older movies had to work really hard to show the impossible. Sometimes they invented whole new techniques just to tell a story. Older movies also have the benefit of being filtered through time, with the best being passed down on to later generations. Of course, there was a time when these two things met. The old world hard work of storytelling with the new possibilities of cutting-edge technology. For example, tonight's movie, we enter Jumanji. This 1990s family adventure story about a haunted board game features Robin Williams, revolutionary special effects for the time, and a certain charm that's rarely seen in this day and age. It also has a number of sequels, some less official than others, where they quickly replaced the charm of the original with The Rock's meme face and Karen Gillan's midriff. I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing it out. But I'm not here to talk about the death of art in cinema by comparing a movie with a 56% score on Rotten Tomatoes to one with 77. Take that how you will. No, instead, I am here to discuss something a little bit more specific than, stay with me, what's with the time travel of Jumanji? Now, the original is a classic, so I'm assuming you've watched it. And if you didn't, just know that my childhood was better than yours. The movie itself is very straightforward. Several players play a magical board game that causes all kinds of strange things to happen, and they're attempting to finish the game so everything kind of goes back how it was. Now, the game itself, mechanically very simple, just rolling dice, trying to get to the end. What the players don't know is that from the moment you start playing the game, the second you pick up those pieces and they're magically put onto the board for you against your will, you have entered into a pocket dimension. It doesn't matter which side of the board you're on, whether you're in the house or in the town, or if you're in the jungles of Jumanji, you are not in the real world. And this is important for later, so take notes. The world you're in now is actually a what-if universe. For Robin's character, Alan, he mostly lived in the jungles of Jumanji for 26 years, which we see a version of in the sequel. For everyone else, they lived in a world where Alan vanished, with all the consequences of this, including the town basically becoming Bedford Falls and It's a Wonderful Life. After his father spent too much time looking for him, he let the shoe factory fail, and eventually this led to his father's early death. His family also might be the town's founders, but that's not important. Now, for Alan's friend Bonnie Hunt, she grew up with everyone thinking she's crazy, and I couldn't imagine why. I mean, all she saw was this. You know what's weird is that this is not too different to how I got sucked into a standard definition void. Luckily, she capitalizes on this by making a living as a psychic. So, there's a silver lining in everything. Now, following this, 26 years later, we are introduced to the kids, Kirsten Dunst and Peter. They live in a world where their parents died the previous winter. This has nothing to do with Alan or Bonnie, but again, it's important for later, so I do hope you're taking notes. Great, now we have our players. The problem is, every turn has something crazy from the world of Jumanji trying to kill you. We're talking monsoons, crocodiles, crazy plants, lions, spiders, mutant monkey boys, a crazy hunter that looks suspiciously like Alan's dad. You know, whimsical stuff. By the way, this hunter shares a name with the hunter in the sequel for some reason. Except in the original, the hunter represents Alan's fear of failure and rejection, with this scene pointed out how he seems to have an irrational hatred of Alan.
I don't know. Everything about me he finds offensive. You think it'd be a waste of his time. Maybe he needs something for his wall, you know? A parrot,
It's your
something to
turn.
go between penguin and park.
Notably, later the hunter mentions that he knows that Alan rolled the dice. It's likely Jumanji is a construct that plays on the deeper fears and desires of the players who wanted to as the box says, escape their world. I think a lot of kids could relate to that, seeing a parent as an antagonist in their life, not realizing that their conflicts are something that could have been worked out in other ways. It really shows a subtle depth to it. But again, I'm not here to talk about the merits of subtle and thematic storytelling in children's media.
I wish Mom and Dad were here. So do I.
How that's been replaced with noise. No, I'm here to nitpick a tiny detail of the mechanics of a fictional board game and how the characters should have exploited it. Now remember, the only way to put things back to normal is for someone to finish the game. You roll the dice, get to the middle, that's it. From a game design standpoint, pretty dull without the built-in chaos generator. They could probably speedrun this thing in a few minutes if they ignored the lion muppet and the evil plants. By the way, this plant is awesome. I love the spider carapace thing on top of the fangs. It's now my favorite plant monster design in all of fiction. But when you get to the end of the game, you go back to the moment you left with all of your in-game memories still intact. Now for the kids, it's only a few hours of difference, not a problem. Small problem, the game didn't start with them. It started with Alan and Bonnie. See, they get to relive their childhoods without the malaria or psychic swindling. No one thinks they're crazy, no one gets fired for destroying a shoe. Then there's this little clip at the end.
I'll go get the presents.
Sure, honey. Well, we love children.
Merry Christmas. So, when can you start?
Well, actually, Martha and I were thinking of taking a little skiing holiday up in the Canadian Rockies.
No!
Remember when I said the parents died? Well, that was in the what-if world. In the real world, Alan and Bonnie just presumably prevented them from dying, as well as some minor changes, like Alan's parents still being alive. In the game's timeline, those kids won't join the game for a few months, which is why they don't recognize Alan and Bonnie at the Christmas party. Not yet. Which means at some point in the near future, the versions of them that played the game are going to snap into these bodies, suddenly living in a world where their parents didn't die, but still live in a different town. And as far as I know, you don't get the other set of memories, so they're going to just wake up in a world where the parents are still alive. Which, hey, it's not a bad outcome. You know, as much as I think all the aspects of your world building should be explored, not every detail is used for the mechanics. This is a story about being able to go back and fix a few mistakes, having gained maturity and overcoming fears. I mean, I don't expect George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life to exploit his anonymity and personal angel magic. Oh, but what if they had? I mean, we know the shoe factory never folds and Alan's dad doesn't die, but did Bonnie ever try to remember any lottery numbers? Were there any significant events she tried to prevent between 1969 and 1995? The voiceover in Blade Runner, maybe? Either way, this means that they knew enough about the parents to meddle in their lives and line things up so they get to meet the kids again. And of course, I'd like to think that they got that Michael Jordan sponsorship before Nike did, and eventually, in the real power move, Shaq. That's what I'd do if I had the power of a god. I'd roll the dice, ignore the lion muppet, start making some real power moves in the world. That's basically the premise of Primer. Nothing bad happened to those guys. And, you know, of course, the kid's dad worked in marketing, so there's a good chance there'd be a little bit of delay, slight disruption, you know, a missed promotion or you know, not a big raise. But I mean, they would just be, you know, just a little setback. Although, you know, money problems are the number one cause of divorce. Oh no. I mean, what if they don't have kids? Well, even a small delay would lead to Scarlett Johansson being the daughter instead. And what if Peter doesn't grow up to play good cop, bad cop in the Lego the Movie, the video game? Liam Neeson would have to reprise his role from the film. What if Shaq doesn't get sponsored by the General? Oh no, what have I done? Oh no, I can fix this. I can go back. No wonder people didn't understand Primer. I have to go back. I have to fix this. I have to try.
movie about a game.
Jumanji! Jumanji!
Now the game comes to you.
Jumanji! Jumanji!
Are you adventurous enough to face the game's perils?
Jumanji!
Conquer it.
Jumanji! 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 Jumanji!
Or it can conquer you. It's a movie about a game. Now the game is playing at a store near you. Jumanji from Milton Bradley.
Jumanji!
So I can improve basically anything except my acting.